not by Terrell, but. Okay, so we divided by 2, and then we got x is 3. Okay, now look at the next one. We're just kind of reviewing how to solve these. So I look up 343, and I'm going to look it up in my 7 chart. 343 is 7 to the third. Very good. Now, how do I change it if it's a fraction?
Negative.
Hey, good job, Henry. Okay, it's 7 to the minus 3. So I'm going to put use negative because it's a fraction. Okay? And then from there you would solve. Got it? Or do it. Remember it? Okay, divide by the 7s. Okay, then I would have to do 5x plus 7 is negative 3. Minus that 7 across. Okay, this is literally your homework right now. Some of y'all aren't writing. I'm confused why this is. Okay, negative 3 minus 7 is negative 10. Divide by 5. Good. Negative 2, because it was negative 10 divided by 5. Okay, so all of that you should already know how to do. If you need a refresher on number 3, I can help you with it later, but you should be able to do it. Okay, the bottom section, you're going to do the log loop. So if you don't remember what a log loop is, we're going to start with number 4. You start with the base. You go up to the 4. So it will be 3 up to the 4. And then you come back around equals 10x. Now, if you have a calculator, you can just type that in. You don't actually really need your chart. So if I do 3 up to the 4, that's going to give me 81. Good. So I'd have 81 equals 10x. Okay, then divide by 10. Good. And x would be 8.1. Yep. Okay?
8.5 is 85.
Yes. Okay, go down to number 7. We'll do number 7 next. Okay, so first thing that you're going to do on 7 is start at your base, and then you're going to do your loop. So 2 up to the 0, good, equals. Good. Okay, then you can type it into your calculator, or you can remember what's the 0 exponent property. It's always what? Not 0. 1. Good. 2 up to the 0 is always 1. So this is really 1 equals 5 minus 2x. Now, what I'm going to do on this one is switch it around and keep my x on the left side. If you don't need to do that, that's fine. I don't care. But for a lot of people, that helps. So I really have 5 minus 2x on this side equals 1 on that side. What is my first step?
Add 5.
Minus 5.
Okay, I'm going to minus the 5, yep.
Why not plus 2?
Okay, you can plus 2 because it's right in front of the x. They're like connected to each other. So I'm going to minus the 5. Okay, negative 4. And is it a 2x? Negative 2x. And the reason that matters is that how do I get rid of this negative 2? I can't add it across. I have to divide it across. Yes, positive 2. And we get why it's positive because those negatives cancel out with each other. So you have 1 negative here on top. You have 1 here on bottom. Those cancel out. Okay? All right, go down, please, next to numbers 8 and 9. You cannot log loop if there's a number in this spot. How could I get rid of it, though, if it's a coefficient right in front?
Take it off, put it in 1.
I can divide, right? Okay, you could do that. Don't do that, though. That would also work, but... Okay, what she was saying is you can move this 5 up. The reason why is because then you'll have to take a 5th root later. So what I'm going to do instead is just divide the 5 out of the way. Okay, so remember, you can't log loop if you have a number in front. But if you divide by that first, then it'll be gone, and then you can log loop it. So on this side, what's 10 divided by 5? So it's log 3x plus 1 equals 2. And then when I go to loop, I don't have a base. Base is 10. And then remember, once you get rid of that number in the front, now you can loop it, so you'll do 10 up to the 2. Bring it back around, equals 3x plus 1. Then from there, 10 squared is how many? 100. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip-flop it. So I'm going to let my 3x plus 1 side come first. I'm going to let my equals 100 come second. What would my next step be? minus 1 and then divide by 3.
Why is it?
Yep.
Why is it not 2 to the 10?
Because remember, you always start your loop at the base, and then you go up to the power across. So I minus my 1, I get 99.
X equals 30.
Good job. That's right, Angela. Okay, x is 33. And you would get that part by dividing by 3 on both sides. Good? Okay, number 9. I'm not going to do it for you, but what would you do first before you loop it? Okay, so go ahead and put that on it and then turn over to the back. Okay, so don't forget, if there's a number in that spot, you want to get rid of it so that it's not there anymore. Okay, flip over to the back side, please. Okay, so what you will notice from the back to the front is that on the front you always had 1 log. You were ready to log loop right away. On the back, how many logs do most of these have? 2. This is where your properties that we've been practicing are going to come into play. You can combine the logs. If they're added, you multiply. If they're subtracted, you divide. So if I'm doing this first one, what am I going to do with 8 and x if their logs are added? Good, so I'll have log little 2 of 8x. And then from here, you can do what we were doing on the front. So you're going to do your loop. What will I start with? 2 up to the 4. And then bring it back around equals 8x. So the properties that we learned make it possible for you to solve equations even if they have more than 1 log in them. Okay, then 2 up to the 4 in the calculator here gives me 16. I'm going to flip-flop it around. I'm going to let 8x equal 16 and then divide by 8 on both sides. X is 2.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay?
Why did the front,
On the front, we didn't have to do any properties because there was always just 1 log to start with. It's when you have 2 that you have to squish them together to
and
do
then,
the loop.
yeah, but I'm saying like when we put the 2 and then we put the loop to the 4, I thought it would be 4 and then the 2 on the top.
Nope, that's backwards. It's always going to start with the bottom number.
Because in the front, didn't we put the 10 first? Never mind.
Yeah, and the 10 was the base.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, now look at number 11. There's an extra property on this one. What do you have to do before you combine these?
Put the 2 on the top.
Yeah, good job. Huh? Yeah. So you move your 2 up to be a squared. And then from there, if it's log 4 plus log x squared, now it's log of 4x squared. And do you remember why that is? Because I moved the 2 up. That's your exponent property. Then you use your product property to multiply them together. Then what's the base if it's missing? 10. So it'll be 10 up to the 2 equals 4x squared. Okay, then 10 squared, you could type it into your calculator if you need to, but it's 100. Good. So I'm going to have 4x squared equals 100. Flip those sides around. Divide by 4, then square root. What is 100 if I divide it by 4? 25. And if x squared is 25, then I have to do what last? Square root. And my answers are not just 5, but plus or minus 5. Good job. Because you did a square root. Remember, whenever you square root both sides, you have to put that.
Was this something we taught on Wednesday?
This is new. Well, the loop is we already taught. I guess it's kind of a mix, yeah, of Wednesday and Tuesday, kind of put together.
I didn't get that square root.
Oh, no, that we learned a long time ago. You're talking about the square root part? Yeah, just whenever you square root, you just type it into your calculator. It'd be square root of 25.
How do you know when you're supposed to square root? I thought it would be 4 divided by 100 and then x equals whatever that is.
No, because it has a squared here. Remember how we put the squared there?
Oh,
So that's why, it's because we moved the 2 up.
okay.
Okay, now there's another way for you to end up with a squared. Take a look at number 12 for me. Okay, what do I do with my logs if I'm adding them? Okay, good. So look, watch. I have log little 2. Okay, and now look, I'm going to multiply. Everybody pay attention on this one because we're going to end up having to t-chart, and you're going to have to do this one on your own. Okay, so when I do x times x plus 6, what are you going to have to do? Distribute. So it's not just going to be an x, it's going to be an x squared and then a 6x. Okay, and then on the other side, I still have my 4. But as soon as you see this, you should be thinking in your head, you're going to end up having to t-chart that. Okay, so do your loop. Always start with the base. So 2 up to the 4 equals x squared plus 6x. And then 2 up to the 4, you'll turn back into a normal number, 16. Now, can I t-chart if 16's over there on the left side? No. So I'm going to have to circle my 16, move it across, because remember, in order to t-chart, everybody has to be together. So I'll have 0 equals x squared plus 6x, and then a minus 16. Then from there, you'll set up your chart. What numbers will times to 16? 2 and 8. Good, that's right. And now if I want to have them minus to 6, where do I put the minus? On the 2 or the 8? 2. Because remember, you want 8 minus 2 gives you 6. Okay, then from there, divide them by x. And if it's x minus 2 and x plus 8, then what are your two answers? Good job. Got it? Okay. Now, number 13 is going to be the same way. So if you want to put a t-chart on it, just to remind yourself, you're going to do that one on your own.
So how do you know when it's t-chart?
If you end up with an x times another x.
Okay.
Okay? Alright, now come down and look for me please at number 13. That's the next one that we're going to do. Notice that my sign in the middle isn't a plus anymore. Now it's a minus. Can I do my minus property right away?
No.
Because why?
The 2.
The 2 in the front. We got to move that. So cross out the 2. Make it a squared.
How come you didn't divide the 2 by the 2?
Okay, that's a good question. She said, why don't we just divide to get rid of the 2? Here's why. You have more than one log. So if I want to divide by 2, I'd have to divide this log by 2, and then I'd have a 1/2 in the front, and it doesn't really help. Okay? So I move my squared up, and then if these are minus, how will I combine them? So it'll be log little 3 of x squared divided by 3. So far, so good? Okay, now do your loop. Still start at the base. So it'll be 3 up to the 3. And then equals x squared over 3. Okay, 3 cubed you can type into your calculator. It's also on your chart though if you have it. 3 cubed is 27. And so then if 27 equals that, what would I do to get rid of the 3 on the bottom if it's like a divide by 3? Multiply by 3. So I'm going to times by 3 here and here. And remember, the reason we do that is a times 3 and a divide by 3 cross out. And then 3 times 27 in your calculator is how much? 81. And if x squared is 81, what's your next step? And when you square root, you get a plus or minus. So square root, x equals plus or minus 9. Okay? Okay, take a look at 14 and 15. They already have one log. So should you move this 2 up or divide to get rid of it? Divide to get rid of it. Now, could you move it up? Yes. But it is easier if you just go ahead and divide that 2 out of the way. So I'm going to cross this 2 out. I'll have a 6 over 2 here is really a how many? 3. And then from there, you'll do your loop and solve. Oh, thank you. That should have been a 2. Thank you. Okay, then from there, it's 2 up to the 3 equals x plus 1. What is 2 up to the 3 the same as? So really, x plus 1 is 8. Notice I'm just switching my sides around. And then minus that 1 across. So minus 1, x is 7. Now, take a look at 15. This one has a fraction in the front. A half is the same as a divide by 2. How do you get rid of a divide by 2? So I'm going to times by 2. I'm going to rewrite it here. Okay, so I'm going to times by 2 in the front to get rid of the 1/2. And then I'm going to times by 2 on that side. So it'll be a 4 on the back. Good. And then from there, you'll do your log loop. So log 3 of x minus 4 equals 4. Then what will you do from there?
3 to the 4.
Yep, 3 up to the 4.
X minus 4 is 3 to the 4. 3 to the 4 is the same. All I know.
81, good. And then if it's x minus 1, what do we do with the minus 1? Plus it. So x would be how many?
What happened to the 4?
Yeah, I was gonna say 4.
Oh, it was a...
4.
Where did I put? Oh, this was a 4. I got you.
Right.
Whoops. So then plus 4 across. So x would be 85. Got it? Okay, so here's the deal. We are doing another day of this on Monday. That's why you just have the one assignment. On Monday, you'll just have one assignment. It'll be just like this. If you want to keep your homework, I'm fine with that. Just come show it to me, and then you can keep it. If you want to turn it in and you don't care, that's fine. But since you don't have a separate day of notes, it might be a good idea to keep it for Monday in case you think you'll need help. Okay? You do not have a quiz on Monday. We're just doing this same topic again.
When do we have Monday?
Your quiz will be next week on Friday. And we'll review for it the day before. Sure.
Question, yeah.
Here? Is that good? Or all the way to the top?
All the way to the top, baby.
Okay, yes, Yasser?
How did you got minus 7? How did you got 8 on the bottom 14?
Okay, so 2 to the 3 is 8.
Oh.
Remember how, look right here. If I do 2 up to the 3, it gives me 8. That's where that came from. And then when I minus the 1 from 8, that's where the 7 came from. Make sense? Okay, you have like 30 minutes. I already typed in grades for 4 and 5.
30 minutes.
Yeah, you do. It's 1:50. You have till 2:18. Okay, you have 28 minutes. Rounds to
So if I have
30. Oh, yeah, hang on. Let me pull this in. Yeah. Here it is. Yeah. Okay. It's your. What are you checking? Which one? Oh, you finished all of them? When you change 27, it'll be 3 to the 3. And then you just so you'll have to distribute. We're not distributing. Does that make sense? Okay, what is this garbage? Because Mia Okay, I love that you're trying to learn this cube, but I'd also like for you to do your math. Thank you. Is Keely here? She's actually awesome. Yeah. She's in a soft case, you know what I'm saying? Take that from Louis and just got it right. Wait, you're in softball. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. But I would have loved to help you. Yes? Wait, did you end up telling me? That's what I'm looking at. Yeah. Move the baby to the mama. Yes? You may not. Sorry. Yes.
Question number 2.
Thank you for asking so politely.
I need to teach had x squared plus 6 minus 10.
Oh no, that is 9x.
So,
Why is it a
but
6?
the black doesn't have it.
It's a 10 then. So you do 10 to the 1 is 10. That's good. Oh, I think you change your 9 to a 6 by mistake. That is a 9. So then you can do 1 times 10, and then 10 minus 1 to get 9.
Oh. Falling.
You were here for the back side? Does she want to go back side?
It was right here.
Were you with Drake in the first period? You're only at like a few minutes. Did you go back You have to pick one because it's gonna be confusing for attendance. If you stay with him, that's fine. Or have him ask because I told him you'd be up here. So if you were down there, then that's fine. But for attendance and stuff, we have to know where you're gonna be.
Can I
Okay.
have this first?
I wanna see that done first. Okay? Restroom, yes. Oh, I forgot to turn this off.